Hello and welcome to my new Guitar-Nerdery video, Inversions of chords. What is that? What is it good for? How can I find it on the guitar? And how can I play them? I'm gonna show you in this video. An inversion of a chord, what is that? It's actually turning it upside down. For explanation, I'm gonna use triads. In this case, a major triad. A major triad consists of 3 notes. The first note is the root. The second note is the major third. And the third note is the perfect fifth. If all notes are in the basic order, the root is the lowest note, the third the next one, and the next one is the perfect fifth. That is called a fundamental chord. And now it's possible to make 2 inversions of that fundamental chord. The fundamental chord, root, third, fifth. I can take the root and put it an octave higher. Then I have in the bass as the lowest note the third, then comes the fifth, and then the highest note is the root. And that is called the first inversion. And now I could take the low note, the third, and put it also an octave higher. Then the lowest note is the fifth, the note in the middle is the root, and the highest note is the third. And that is the second inversion. And when I now take the lowest note, the fifth, and put it also an octave higher, then I have the fundamental chord again. This fundamental chord would be exactly 1 octave higher than the first fundamental chord where I started. Let me show you this on the guitar with a D major triad. A D major triad is the root D, the major third F sharp, and the perfect fifth A. This is a fundamental voicing, the D major chord. I have the root D here. I have the major third F sharp here. And I have the perfect fifth A here. And now I'm going to do exactly the same what I explained with my fingers. So the fundamental chord, I take the root D and put it an octave higher. This is the first inversion of a D major chord. In the bass I have the third. Now I take the third and put it also an octave higher. This is the second inversion. And when I take now the fifth here and put it also an octave higher, I have the fundamental chord, the fundamental voicing again. But as you can hear, I'm exactly an octave higher than in the beginning. So that was for you to understand what inversions in general are. But learning inversions on the guitar means to learn them horizontally. I just took the 3 high strings to play horizontally the fundamental chord, the first inversion and the second inversion. And I could also do that in one position, and that would be like this. What is it good for to learn them horizontally? Well, you will find your voicing, your chord you want to play, in more than one position. So that's very cool for arrangement. If you are here, okay, you can play this regular, well-known D major. But if you are here, you're playing an A, for example, and then you want to play a D, you have to jump back to that position. But knowing all possibilities horizontally means that you can play the D major here. Imagine you are here. You are also playing an A. You have a D here. So let me show you now how it works. I'm gonna start with the fundamental chord, with the fundamental voicing on those 3 strings of D major. Just to remember, I need the root, the major third, and the perfect fifth. In D major, it would be D, F sharp, and A. So I would have to know where the D on the G string is. It's here in the 7th position. Then comes the F sharp. I find it on the B string here, also in the 7th position. And in the 5th position, I have the A on the E string. So this voicing shape here is the fundamental chord. To find now inversions 1 and 2 in different positions, we have to stick to those 3 strings. Our fundamental voicing was, in the right order, the lowest note, the root, the major third next, and the highest note of that voicing is the perfect fifth. You remember? The first inversion was I put the root an octave higher, so the lowest note would be the third, then comes the fifth, and the highest note, the root. And because I'm sticking to those 3 strings, I have now to find the F sharp on the G string, because in my next voicing, this is the lowest note. And the F sharp on the G string is here. And then the next note, the middle note, would be the perfect fifth A. I have to find it on the B string. It's here. And then the highest note is the root. I have to find the D on the E string. You see, the root is 1 octave higher. This is the first inversion of this. And the second inversion works in the same way. I take the first inversion, and now I put the lowest note, the major third, 1 octave higher, and then the lowest note of the second inversion is the perfect fifth, then the middle note is the root, and the highest note is the major third. Now the A, the perfect fifth, has to be the lowest note in my next voicing. I have to find it on the G string, and it would be here. Then comes the root. It's in the middle of the next voicing. I have to find it on the B string. Where's my D on the B string? It's here. And then the highest note would be the major third, F sharp. That has to be on the high E string, and the F sharp is here. This is the second inversion. And most of the time we do not play chords that high. I can put this chord exactly an octave lower, and then voila, your campfire D major is here. This method of finding all three voicings of a triad works on all strings. You have to do it the same way. Let's do it again with a minor triad. Let's take the D minor. The only difference between a major and a minor triad is the third. In the case of D, the F sharp goes to the F. D major, D minor. And now I can do it the same way. I know my fundamental chord would be root, third, fifth, so I need the D, F and the A. D, F, A. The first inversion of that would be F, A and D. And that I'll find here. F, A, D. This is the first inversion of a D minor triad. The second inversion would be A, D, and then on top F. And that you find here. And you know that also from campfire guitar. It's that standard D minor shape. Let's go back to the major triads to let me show you how you can use this for arrangement. Knowing all three voicing shapes, the fundamental, the first inversion, and the second inversion. In the next step, it's very easy to find for other harmonies the shapes. If you know that this is the fundamental shape of D and the lowest note is the D, then if you want to play a G major, you know here is the G, and if you take this voicing, this must be a G major. G, major third B, and perfect fifth D. Right. I can't play it here because I need on top a D and the lowest note on the E string is D. And I also know that this is an A major because this is an A. And this I can play an octave lower. So if I want to play a 1-4-5-1 cadence, I can do this. You see, I have to jump a lot because I use only one voicing shape. So it comes in handy that I actually know two more shapes. The one for the first inversion and the one for the second inversion. The one for the first inversion with the third as the lowest note was now I have on top my D, and this I use for orientation. So if I want to use this voicing for a G major, this must be a G then on the E string. And this is of course here. And then I know also the A major is here because this is an A. And then there's one more voicing, the one for the second inversion. This one. Here the root is in the middle. So I have to find my roots on the B string for this voicing. If I want to play with that voicing a G major, I have to find the G on the B string, and this is here. And the A, of course, is 2 frets up. Now I want to play again the cadence 1-4-5-1 in D major. The chord order is D major, G major, A major. I played that before, but only with one voicing, and I had to jump. And now you can see what those inversions are good for. I start with the 1-4-5-1 cadence here. I start with the first inversion of D major. Then I use the fundamental voicing of G major and the second inversion of A major. And this way I don't have to jump at all, and it sounds better because jumps most of the time do not sound good. Now I'm going to play this in another position. I do not start with the first inversion of D. I take the next voicing, the next possible voicing lower. I start here. This is the fundamental of D major. Then I can play the G here with the second inversion voicing. And the first inversion voicing of A would be here. And with those triads, one more position is possible. I go to the next possible voicing of D major, the second inversion, my standard campfire voicing. Then I can play the G here with the first inversion of G major. And with the fundamental voicing of A major, here I have all in this position. This is pretty cool. I can now play it along the fretboard. I hope I could bring light into the dark when it comes to inversions. No mystery at all. And I hope you get what it's good for. It's awesome for arrangement and for you to conquer the fretboard, to gain freedom. This was it for today. I hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe. And I'm looking forward to see you next time.